the Body Share, like Valentina said, is a teaching and research programs, and we are working on 3 working groups on eco design, on another group on traceability and transparency, and also the implementation of digital product passports. And the last working group we are working on is the sorting processes of futures. In the sorting groups, the aim is to bring together several French recycling players and brands. And this year, I'm here. And this year, the objective is to map all the players in Europe, European recycling sector, and then to take in depth look at 2 ecosystems which are various states close together. So today we will only present an overview of the work. That's not the whole work, but just an overview of the mapping that we made with CETIA. And we try to identify all the European recycling players and highlight their main characteristic, like technology, processes, and capacity provision. And so we will present this work, but first we would like to make a little disclaimer because in this study we have considered following parameters and assumption because it's complicated to identify the whole actors. So we try to set some parameters and hypotheses. So for example, we choose to focus exclusively, sorry, French, English, on the cotton, polycotton, and polyester fiber on recycling processes. The result of the studies are essentially based on bibliographical research, press release, company websites, and nothing of the data collected or a sort of collaboration with company, but it's more of like a review, literature review, and researches of the major numbers that we can find. But there is some instances, no? And the latest research was updated in March, between March and June this year. And also for regarding the pre-processor actor and collector sorters actors, we have only listed those with annual capacity at least of 4,000 tons, because we have a lot of there are a lot of actors, collectors, and sorters that are around 400, 500 tons, but we don't take it into account. And so first, we will look at key figures on the textile waste in Europe. So Europe generates more than 12 million of textile waste per year. So that's I think the age of more than 10 or 20 football, soccer area. That's a huge bin that we produce, that we generate. And the distribution of textile waste, we have more than 8 million tons that are just landfilled or incinerated. And we have just only 2.3 million tons that are collected. So approximately like 20% of those waste that are collected. The major outputs of those weights are the exports. The exports in Europe on second-hand markets after sorting, and outside Europe, like other continents like Africa or Asia and other continents. Around 13% of those 2 millions are recycled. Open loop or closed loop recycling, and 10% are just for energetic valorization. We also estimated that the sorting capacity of the Europe of 2020 are around 2 million tons per year, and the recycling capacity were also between 7,000 million tons per year. and the recycling capacity that are just projected in the study of prospective are around 2 million tons. I will activate.
C'est bon.
Si. Okay. Next. So maybe some kind of the person here present are more specialized on other textile circularity processes on study and in research and don't really know what are the recycling sector, no? So I will just make a little introduction. So recycling industry, how it works. To make it simple, we try to make it simple. You can see my screen? Oh, can you see my screen?
No?
Yes, perfectly.
C'est bloqué là.
Yeah, so you can see the recycling processes. Okay. So it's here. We have
Voilà.
problem like Paris is a lost villages in France. And we have a connection problem. That's okay. So I will start again. So the recycling industry, how it works. To make it simple, when a consumer buys his garments and don't want to use it, you have different ways to give a second life to the garments or second processes of the garments. Maybe not the second life with its first function, but other function. For example, like upcycling, where you have a lot of solutions. No? So the consumer have the opportunities in France, in Europe, and majority to deposit their products in public and private bins, and the collection of those different garments on this bin can be carried by different actors, like public actors, like project donation, and also company that work on the social economy. So when you put your textile on the bin, can be from company, come from consumer, come from production, and after what happened after. There is some companies also, private or public, that collect in those bins and pre-sort and sort those garments. They're sorted majority manually by operators or automatically by color, quality, typology. Like I said before, to also give a first sorting to the second life of the product, for example, to the second-hand market in Europe, to the export, or for recycling way. After the decision of this sorting, some of this percentage of those garments are pre-processes. So pre-process, I'm making images with the kitchen, because it's like people that are cooking the garments to prepare them to the future processes, depend on its mechanical processes, chemical processes, or in energy valorization or upcycling, downcycling. So the pre-processing is any operation that prepare the material for recycling, no? Including the shredding, defibration, shipping, no? After that, also, according to the pre-processing steps, the product could have different ways, also different outputs, but I put those because we studied those in these studies. So the mechanical recycling, I don't know if you can see well, but in the images, we can see the work processes that transform the textile waste into new material, while you try to preserve the fiber and its chemical structure. For example, shredding and reprocessing the waste into fiber for new works or non-woven application. For example, you can obtain in these mechanical recycling processes fiber styrene, cellulosic powder, yarn, also non-woven yarn, and a lot of solution. In the chemical recycling in Europe, the major actors are working on the chemical structure, like you can see in the images in the example, on the chemical structure of the textile. And they try to make it to process it into valuable chemicals, and they are building blocks, like you can see have to, that can be used to create new virgin quality material. And the main output is the fiber to fiber. So that is what to understand about the recycling industry. But there is other outputs after the pre-processing, like open loop mechanical recycling, and also the energy valorization. So now, how many people and company are working on all those steps in Europe? Marilou, I'll let you the hand.
Yes. Thank you, Roxane, for the introduction and all this explanation. So now I will present to you two mapping. I will focus only on these two one. Please note that in the deliverable, in the report, you will find other mapping. We try to separate all activities to be more clear visually. And we add also some tables to add information. So here I will focus only in two mapping. The first one is gathering collectors, sorters, and preprocessors. So as Roxane said, it's all the collectors that collect garment in the bins, in some shop, etc. The preprocessors are sorting by composition, for example, with more precision. It could be by color also. We can also find some preprocessor with shredding to prepare a material ready to be incorporated into new products. And sometimes there is some actors that have some different activities, and they combine these activities, so collect and pre-processing. So what we try to do is an overview of all the actors in Europe and sometimes close to Europe. And we try to add some capacities to see in the future, in 5 years, for example, in 2030, which actor will be present with which quantity. So all the data that we list in the reports came from a website company, because sometimes there is some news and we are conscious that this mapping we had to be setting in day by day to add the new information, for example. So here is just an overview of what we find today. So we can see that there is a lot of actors, and we can say what we found. There is a lot of information. Yes, move on the recycler mapping. So in this mapping, we try to separate by color again the chemical recyclers, the mechanical recyclers in open loop, and the mechanical recycler in closed loop. So in the report, again, you will find different mapping with all the activities. And as Roxane said in the introduction, we only focused on polyester, cotton, and polycotton, because there are a major part of textile. This is the major composition that we can find in textile waste. And we maybe tried to do some mapping regarding material. So it will be done in next day to see which recycler will process only polyester, which will process only cotton, etc. So again, we try to identify actors depending of the capacity. And the particularity of the chemical recycling is that the most of them are also at pilot scale today. So to build this mapping in 2030, we have based ourselves research on recent announcements of future plants opening. For example, Cirque or Reju will which announce some plant facilities in the next few years. So maybe we have to adapt some infrastructure, etc. And on the reports, you will find some tables with details and some information about all actors, especially with the capacity and the maturity today to have a comparison. So to conclude, here you can see the capacity estimation that we found based on this mapping. And you can see that the current capacity that we found is less important than the capacity that are right in some studies. That's because we only based our research on websites and bibliographical research. So maybe some companies are missing, and that's why we wanted to present to you this mapping to see if you have other information, other actors in mind that we can add. And at the end of the presentation, we will propose to you to have a questionnaire to add some companies that you have in mind, for example. And just to conclude quickly, yes, you can just come back on the previous slide, please. It's just about the capacity of the future. So we find that there will be around 1.7 million tons per year of capacity for recyclers. So all recyclers together, chemical and mechanical. And we have noted that one big figures came from Riendep, which have announced that they have the target to process 1 million textile waste in the future. And in this mapping, we have to have in mind that sometimes we have the figures of the whole capacity of the company, of the plant, but we know that the capacity will not proceed 100% post-consumer waste. So we have to think about it, and it's important to make invest, etc. to develop the filière and to increase this capacity for post-consumer waste also. Thank you. Yes, in the next slide, you will see a QR code to that's the link to register or to give us more information if you have other actor in mind. That's why we present it to you today. It's a continuous work, so we will improve it to better understand all the textile recycling area. Yes, thank you. I can see some comments in the chat. Thank you very much for this information. I don't know if you have a question.
I think we can take some few minutes to have exchange or recommendation.
Yes. I would like. Sorry.
Let's go.
I would like just to raise a question regarding the actual map of recycling, which is, do you think at this stage, do you think that there is circularity in terms of having, you know, connections that are well established between, let's say, the consumer, the collector, and the recycling companies. How far is circularity developed in terms of the map on the present situation?
The research showed us that the open loop recycler facilities and solutions are really developed. So to make, for example, non-woven for insulation, building, automotive, etc. So I guess there is a lot of solution for that, but we have to improve fiber to fiber recycling thanks to new technologies, invest in infrastructure, etc.
Thank you.
There is another question.
I see, Rami, you have a question?
Yes, thank you for this really interesting. I know that in Europe we have many different PROs. We have PROs that only manage contractual relationship between producers and operators, but sometimes any PROs have more operational role. So do you have any idea on this? And I think producer responsibility organizations have also maps on collectors or recyclers. So I think it could be interesting to go in the for example the refashion websites to collect this kind of information. So yeah.
Yes, we try to collect some data from recycle platform. We combine a lot of data and we use this platform. Yes, and to respond from my point of view, but I guess maybe Valentina could respond better. But yes, of course, the responsible, the producer responsible. Has an impact. We will have an impact on this subject, of course, on this mapping. What we try to do here is just to have a mapping of which actors are available today and which actor will be available tomorrow. But I guess yes, the capacity will move depending on regulation, etc. Yes. That's all I can say for the moment in my point of view. But if someone wants to add something,
Thank you.